Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen Odd and these are Karen's Oddities. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Regardless, I do want to ask that you give this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts below, even if you disagree with my content. And I also want to ask that you share this video and our channel with one person that you know, as I'm confident there is something here that both you and they can benefit from. In the last couple of weeks, I've been having a lot of dreams. Super vivid dreams that seemed extremely real with people that are currently in my life, people from my past. I've been having conversations in these dreams with these people, conversations that I've never had before, conversations that I've had before, situations that I've been in that seem to be repeating themselves in these dreams. And then I've also just had dreams that don't really necessarily involve people, but just like situations that are way, way in the left field. Like you would have thought I did like shrooms or something. And I think that part of the reason that's happening is I'm in this stage in my life where I've just really been reflecting on what are my true heart's desires. And when I say desires, I'm not talking about the surface level, like I want cookies and cream ice cream today, or I want to have a hamburger with light mayo. No, I mean, like, what do you really want? Like, what are the things that are really going to fill and fulfill your soul? What are the things that are going to like ignite a flame in you, that are going to really push you? What are the things that are going to give you a sense of life purpose and fulfillment in life? Like when I talk about desires, I'm talking about the deep ones, the things that you've thought about for years and ages, the things that you've dreamt about when you were a kid. Those are the type of desires and things that I've been thinking about. And I think that that's happening because of the stage that I'm at in my life. I'm in my early 30s. And, if we look at it, right, I probably have like 40 something years left of life if God blesses me with that, right? So it's like 30 years have passed. What are you going to do for the next 40 something years? And what does that look like for you? I've also been having some very interesting conversations with people, particularly, was it last weekend or the weekend before? It's kind of like a blur, but I've been having some very interesting conversations with people. I don't know why it's doing that. Some very interesting conversations with people, and I've also been reflecting on those conversations, right? They're causing me to think about things that I haven't thought about before, things that I haven't given any consideration, questions that I've never been asked before. And I think that's important because sometimes we just think about things in like a certain span, or we think about things in a certain box, and there's so many other ways of reflecting on things. There's so many other angles and perspectives we view things from, and that's why, and I'm going down a rabbit hole, but that's why I think it's important to have friends from all walks of life. That's why I think it's important to be in all walks of life. That's why I think it's important to travel, because all of these things help open our perspectives. It helps us view things differently. It helps us see problems and solutions from different perspectives, and it basically expands our thinking, it expands our critical thinking, it expands the possibilities, it expands our creativity, etc. That was a rabbit hole. I'm out of it now. And one of the questions that I was asked, which I've been reflecting on, is what does it take to keep you satisfied? Someone asked me this question, I think it was last weekend. They said, what does it take to keep you satisfied? And to be honest, no one has ever asked me that question. And I've never reflected on that question myself. Like when we're making decisions, whether it's a job, a school, a car, a relationship, a spouse, a dog, a purchase, like what is it going to take to keep you satisfied? A move, like what is it that you need? Like I think I have never asked myself the question directly, but I'm a list girl, right? So if I want something, I write a list of all the things I want. I don't focus on the things that I don't want. I write a list of all the things that I want, because I want to be very clear of what is the absolute minimum that I want from this thing or situation. I don't write the list of things that I don't want because I don't want to focus on the negative. I want to focus on the positive. So I am a list girl. And I think that by creating those lists, it's kind of like answering the question of what does it take to keep you satisfied. But when I was asked that question, I realized that my satisfaction has been mostly focused on the actual thing, person, idea, but it's been focused, or the characteristics of the thing, person, and idea, but it's been less focused on what do I hope that thing, situation, or idea to feel like? What do I expect it to look like in practice on a day to day? What do I expect it to motivate me to do? What do I expect it to bring out of me? In what ways do I expect it to challenge me, to bring me joy, etc.? And I realize I've been taking like it has not been a wise approach to things, right? Like, for example, if we think about a car, right? You could say, I want this car to be sporty. I want it to look sporty. That is one way of looking at it, right? You want a car that looks sporty, but what does that mean to you in practicality? Like, what does that mean to you every day when you're driving it or when you pull it out of your garage? Like, what does that mean to you? An example of that could mean, I want a car that looks sporty, that makes me feel like I am in a Fast and Furious movie. That's just an example. It's a silly one, but it's an example, right? We have to stop looking at things from such a like limited viewpoint of what we expect from them, and we have to go deeper, right? And I was thinking about, speaking of lists, right? I think I have a video that I posted on here a couple of, it's probably been a year at this point. I posted a video on here about the next man that I date will have, and there were a list of these things. I think it was like 20 something things. And I have the list in this notebook, and the list of things, they're all true, right? I wanted the man that I dated to have all these things, but all of the things on that, well, not all, the majority of the things on that list were super superficial. They were things like handsome, nice teeth, which granted, this is super important to me. There were things like handsome, nice teeth, meaty fit, whatever. All these things that I truly value and desire. But when I looked back at the list recently, I'm like, yeah, all of that is great. But what about the things that really matter, right? What about the things of, how does this person comfort you when you're sad? How does this person support you when you're going through a problem? How does this person handle conflict? How does this person communicate? How does this person handle confrontation? All of those things were not on that list, which, if I'm being completely honest, everything on the first list, does it still matter to me? Absolutely. I want to date a person that I'm attracted to. I want to date a person that's meaty fit. I want to date a person that has nice teeth. I want to date a person that is intelligent. But I need everything else. I can't just have everything on this list and be satisfied. And it just made me reflect on like satisfaction. Like, what does that look like to you? Like, have you really taken a look at the situations in your life, and have you really asked yourself, one, am I satisfied? And if the answer is no, what does it take for me to be satisfied in the situation? And on top of that, what does it take for me to remain satisfied? When we meet people, people present to you one way how they are at the beginning, because everyone's putting on their best garb, their best everything, their best front. And then you get to know them, and they're different than what they presented to you. They have a facade on, they're a different person, right? So it's like really thinking about satisfaction in an intentional way and thinking about it beyond the surface level is something that I'm trying to do now. Like, I'm trying to look at different aspects of my life. I'm looking at my job, right? I'm in the middle of applying to different positions. I've applied to jobs in my existing company. I have an interview in my existing company, but with someone else next week. I've applied to 8 jobs in New York City. I've applied to different jobs that are remote, that are here, but that are outside of my company. And I have to really think about, like, what are you looking for in this job, in this next position, that is truly going to keep you satisfied, and not on a surface level, not just the money, right? Making sure there is good management, good communication, a decent team, a healthy work environment that is not toxic, right? Thinking about those things, thinking about satisfaction in a different way is what we need to start doing, and really being honest, because I started this video talking about the fact that I'm 30 something years into this life that we live, and I have 40 something left. When I talk about my satisfaction moving forward, I'm not going to talk about the surface level things. I'm going to talk about the real stuff, okay? Because those 40 something years, I'll be damned if I'm settling. I'll be damned if I'm settling in a job. I'll be damned if I'm settling with the car that I get, with the house that I get, with the man that I'm dating. I will be damned. I am not settling anymore. And the other thing, I have my list of notes, but they're kind of out of order because it's coming out of me, so I'm saying it how I want to say it. I had a conversation with a different person about expectations. we were talking about expectations, and I'm not going to get into the details of either of these conversations, but it started making me think, like, are my expectations set correctly? And I'm not just talking about relationships, because everything doesn't revolve around relationships, right? I'm talking about jobs, I'm talking about friendships, I'm talking about everything. Have my expectations been set appropriately? Are my expectations too low? Are your expectations too low? Are your expectations too high? Which is the other end of that spectrum, right? For me specifically, I've been thinking, maybe my expectations have been too low, you guys. Maybe I'm supposed to raise the bar, right? Maybe I'm supposed to be asking for more. Maybe I have been asking for so little, or expecting, receiving, and being okay with so little, because maybe I didn't think that I deserved more, right? Maybe I've never experienced more. So I thought, well, if this is a little bit of elevation from this, and this is okay. But no, I think that I need to raise my expectations. I think that we need to raise our expectations, all in when they're actually realistic. And how do we determine if an expectation is realistic? That's a wonderful question. I don't have the answer yet, right? But I do know, at least for myself personally, I have to raise my expectations. And when I think about life, of like, this is what I've done, this is how many years I have left, especially because life has a finite number of years, number of hours, number of days, weeks, months, etc. Especially because of that, we must raise our expectations. We must not fucking settle. Yeah, I'm trying to look at this list because I'm going out of order, like I said a minute ago. Expectations. I talked about the question about what does it take to keep you satisfied. I talked about the fact that I write down my list. But I'm just really in this point in my life where I'm really just thinking about, what do I want? What's next for me? What's next for me in my career? What's next for me in my physical location? Am I moving to New York City? Am I moving somewhere else? What's next for me in dating? I'm not dating right now. I am fresh out of a breakup. I'm still processing it, but I wonder, like, what will the future hold for me? And what do I want to do these next 40 something years of my life, right? And that brings me into the segue of, we're at the start of July, wherever you are right now. For me, it's 4th of July. It's the morning of 4th of July. I hope if you celebrate the 4th of July, wherever you're watching from, that you have a safe and wonderful 4th of July, and that you use safety when it comes to fireworks. I was out last night with my friend, and someone was like doing this is a side piece story. Side piece. Someone was like doing fireworks in the middle of like this outdoor plaza we're eating. I was so irritated, you guys. So the cops were called. We won't talk about who called the cops. And they got arrested because they were doing fireworks around kids, and everyone thought like we were getting freaking shot at. Like, it was so stupid. So be smart. Only do the fireworks on 4th of July. Don't do them after. Don't do them before. Proceed with caution. Keep the kids away. Don't do them near trees. Don't do them near wires. And don't be a freaking idiot, because you might get your arm blown off, or you might kill somebody, or you might get arrested. Anyway, we're 6 months away from the end of the year. This is a critical time. Some people think the critical time is the start of a year. Some people think the critical time is July 1st and your New Year resolutions. Not everyone does that stuff. Not everyone believes in that crap. Not everyone believes in starting the year off and hitting it out the park and starting the gym and starting the diet. A lot of people that start in July actually fail. I'm making up that stat, but if I looked it up, I would be very surprised if it wasn't backed by statistics and science. I think a lot of people that start things at the beginning of the year fail because there's so much pressure to like change immediately at the start of a year, and change doesn't happen like that. Change happens gradually, it happens incrementally, and it happens differently for everyone. So if you had a resolution or resolutions or goals that you started on January 1st as a New Year resolution, and you haven't moved on them, or you haven't progressed, just know that the year's not over. You literally have the next 6 months to pick up where you left off on that thing. Pick it up, start doing it again. Start again, start from zero. If you've never started, start it. Scratch whatever you did, toss it, and start again. You have 6 months to be in a better position, whatever that means for you. A literal work position, a move, a body, a relationship, a business, whatever that is, you can start at the beginning of this month. You can start at the beginning of June. At that point, you'll have 5 months, but still, you can start literally today, picking up that thing that you dropped and focus on it for the next 6 months. They say it takes 30 days to build a habit, and it takes 30 days to break a habit. So if you want to start from today, do 30 days out until June. I think it would be 3rd because July has 31 months. I can't do math, but I can think critically. Do that thing. Do that thing. Like, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Like, do that thing. And I think that kind of covers the things that I wanted to talk about, right? I've been having some interesting conversations, thinking about how we look at satisfaction. What does that mean to us? Looking at satisfaction from a deeper lens, writing down a list of the things that we want, and also a list of the things that we don't want, right? The list of the things that you don't want is just to put things in perspective. I would not read over the things that I don't want multiple times. I would just read it one time just to remind you, like, what did you not like about this person, this situation? What were all the things that turned you off from that? Just read it one time. Write it once, read it once, don't read it again, but focus on the things that you do want. Think really deeply about what you do want. Think about how old you are right now, where you are in life, what you've accomplished, what you've failed to accomplish, and what you wish to accomplish. Think about your expectations. Are they too high? Are they too low? Are they realistic? What are they based on? Are they based on things that you truly desire? Or are they based on society's desires? Are they based on society's ideas? You have to think about all of these things. And use these next 6 months of the year to knock out whatever that goal is. Use these next 6 months of the year wisely. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much.